Hello, everybody.
Hey, everyone.
Great to be with you tonight. Super excited. This is going to be a fun one. I can't wait.
This one is good and super easy.
Yeah. I think it's going to turn out beautiful. I can't wait to see the whole end product. We're super excited to craft with you tonight. Thanks so much for being with us today. We're getting all the technology squared away today.
And I think I can hear your volume there.
There you go. Sorry about that. When we get everything squared away, then the last one pops up and starts talking to me. So.
Here we go. I think we're everywhere.
We're everywhere. Technology's working. We're super excited. Thank you. I can see everybody popping on. Thank you so much for being with us tonight. We are so excited to craft along with you. It's always fun. It's actually better, in fact, when you get to craft together, right?
Yeah.
I think
it does make it fun. And just to get to see a little different variation, that always is super fun too.
Exactly. So, hey, everybody, thanks so much for being with us. If you don't know who we are, I'm Patty, and I'm here with Hillary.
Hello, everyone. And I've got a little sleepy Hank here as well, helping out.
He's so adorable. I'm so glad he was able to stop by. Every so often you'll get to see a little cameo from some of our pups because we love our pups so much. They're a big part of our life. And ergo the name Hound Hugger DIY. We love to craft and we love our dogs. So if you love those two things, you're in the right place. So thanks again for being with us. We are going to do a craft using 4 square picture frames. These are really kind of cool. They're called 6-inch frames. They have kind of this rustic kind of farmhouse vibe along the edge here. So it's not a real painted wood, but it gives you that look and feel of that, which is really kind of fun. And each one is a little bit different. So they kind of all have their own unique, which I like. It's not a repeat, right? They're not exactly the same. So I like that.
And the other thing that's cool about these, so just so everybody knows, everything that we're using or everything that we're showing, we have either the items, if you're watching on Amazon Live, you can actually follow along in the carousel and I'll point out which items we're talking about as we're talking about them. But if not, if you're watching us elsewhere, I have all the items also linked. So these items are in the description if you're watching elsewhere. And the other thing that's cool about these particular, this particular pick is we're using the 6-inch by 6-inch squares, but there's a ton of different variations of this frame. So you can choose different sizes and things like that as well.
Yeah. Exactly.
That's really nice.
Exactly. And the other nice thing about this, if you're actually not using it for a craft project, but you're going to be using it for actual frames, you could put a 4x4 photo in it as well, because it comes with its own little art mat, which I really like. That's always an extra touch, right? When you
Absolutely. It makes it so much more finished. It elevates. If you already have that mat in there that you're able to use. So.
Yeah. And you could do so many fun things because this comes in a series of 4. And I could totally see hanging up a series of your family photos or your kids' artwork. I could totally see taking some really fun art prints of maybe fruits or veggies or something and hanging in your kitchen, So a lot of really fun things to do with this. We're going to be doing kind of a little crazy craft time with these. But again, partway through, I could even see us hanging the things that we're going to be putting in the frames on their own as well, instead of putting it together to make a table centerpiece, which is what we're going to do today. So anyway.
And the nice thing is they do have a stand and a hanger hook on them that's already built in. So you can hang them, you can use them as a shelf sitter, or we're making ours into a little centerpiece type of deal. So there's sky's the limit as far as what you want to, how you want to use them, but it is a really nice set
exactly
on its own.
Right. And if you can't find these or they're unavailable, you can use any shape frame, any size frame for this. You want to stay a fairly small-ish size.
Yeah.
I kind of like the square look, but you could certainly do this with a rectangular look, like a 4x6 frame or a 5x7 frame. The same kind of project would work that we're going to be doing. So anyway, let's jump right into it. Some of the other things that we're going to be using are, so what we're going to be doing is we're going to take our frame apart and we're going to put some really fun kind of patriotic fabrics and embellishments and trims and things like that inside. And so, so you're going to just take off the back of your frame, and we're going to add just I just dug through and found some of my favorite kind of red, white, and blue themed fabrics. We do have a link to those available. Yeah, these are really cool. I love this set because it gives you so many different options to choose from. And blue and white, like the chinoiserie, I think is what it's called. Like, it's such a popular trend right now. You can do so many fun things with this set, as well as kind of do this red, white, and blue kind of a patriotic craft that we're going to be doing today. So by all means, grab it. It's got a lot of prints to choose from. And we're going to be picking different things for each frame, so you could mix and match like all the prints, right? You don't have to pick the same one for each frame. You could really, since all of those coordinate together, right? You can easily mix and match and have kind of a unified theme in your project, which is really kind of cool.
But we also have some red gingham, as Patty was showing there. I'm going to be using a little dark blue bandana.
Oh, I love
mine's
that.
Going to be a little. We're obviously doing kind of Americana theme. So reds, whites, and blues, and any kinds of items that you want to use. I also have a red bandana here linked, so you could just mix it up however you wanted to. But we also, if you didn't want to use fabrics,
I've got some bandanas here.
You could also use. We have some paper, like craft paper as well. That's linked. So let me just show a picture of that. We don't actually have that one, but there are different kinds of rustic, patriotic kind of craft paper.
That's so pretty.
Which would work too. And then you could use photographs in this, especially if you did something like the craft paper.
Right.
We're taking a little different approach using fabrics. So just kind of think of the red, white, and blues, how you're going to kind of coordinate them together. And then you could also use, we're doing a Memorial Day centerpiece. You could use like scraps of fabric from somebody that you know and love.
Would be so cool. That would be extra special. Again, kind of in that red, white, and blue theme. I think that would make this truly a memorial centerpiece, right? You're, somebody that you're honoring, or someone that you've lost that's no longer in your home, but they're still in your heart. I think that would be really neat to do. Dig through your craft stash even, or if anybody has any ideas, we've kind of popped out a couple of them. If you have some really fun ideas for things that you could put inside this frame that are red, white, and blue, please chime in. We would love to know your ideas. This is part of why it's fun crafting together. So anyway, we're going to grab some fabrics to start with. And I've just cut something that's oversized for my frame, and I'm using a little kind of a navy blue check.
So the tricky part with this is thinking about how you're layering all your parts and pieces together, because you're doing it backwards. So that you want, like, the front is going to be that closest piece to the mirror. So you kind of have to layer things as you need them. So you'll see we also have like some gingham ribbon. We have
trims and things.
Little flower. Exactly. Where do I have lacy ribbons, all sorts of different things. So that's we're going to be just kind of combining textures, combining different looks and feels that all sort of feel like they go together, kind of that Americana vibe.
I've got this fun little gingham ribbon here that I absolutely love. I've got a little flower ribbon and a little kind of rickrack as well. Again, just thinking of the reds, the whites, the blues. I love this gingham ribbon because I'm also using the gingham fabric. Now, I won't be using them on the same frame necessarily, but what this does is this ribbon will tie in this idea across the other frames, right? So it's repeating a pattern or a fabric or a color scheme without exactly using the same thing, which I love. Makes that really kind of fun. And then I'm going to make sure my glass is clear. I have doggy glitter everywhere. And I would suggest making these a little bigger than you need because when you get the back of the picture back in place, you can then kind of pull it a little tight. Or if you want to kind of glue it down in place, you could certainly do that as well. That would make things maybe even a little easier so you know stuff isn't going to be shifting around. I'm going to be living on the edge here a little bit. And
yeah, I've got just a tiny scrap. I'm just trying to make it so that everything fits to the edges.
Yep. Yep. So this is
and one of the other things
yeah.
Sorry, don't mean to cut you off. Another thing that you can do to kind of add some different textures on this gingham piece of fabric that I have that I'm laying down in this frame. I just used pinking shears on one side to give it that sort of zigzag on one part of it.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
Again, it's not just the ribbons or the, rickrack or things like that, but you can also fray the edges of your fabric and stuff, and that'll add those different textures and layers.
I love that idea. Well. I love that idea. Yeah. And I didn't iron any of my fabric because we're going to be tugging it taut, it'll be nice and taut. So you can skip that step if you want. I'm going to put this down and I'm going to tuck this in. So I'm just putting the art mat back in place on top of my frame here. And before I trim anything off, I'm really just going to fold this in and see what it looks like. I'm just going to push that down, lift that up. That looks really cute, right? Like that.
So, and things will shift. Yeah. So that
yes, definitely they will.
Add some things that need little.
They for sure will.
Yeah. And this is where it might work too. I might just tack this down a little just to make it a little easier.
Yeah, you could totally add some glue. All right. And the art mat for me, for some of these, it's open in the middle and it doesn't really push down on the fabric. So you can grab like a little piece of cardboard or cardstock or something and put that in the middle to kind of push down on that space so it's not as bumpy in the middle if you want.
And I actually skipped. I just left mine out. So I'm just using the backing, no art mat in there.
Oh, okay. Okay. Are you using you're not using the photo, the picture either? You're just.
No, just the.
Nice.
Just the back.
Okay. Well, that will push everything in there perfectly then. Perfectly level. All right. I'm not even trimming mine. I'm just going to tuck it in.
So
I love this project because you can be so creative with all the different things you can do. Oh, did you just hold that up? I missed it.
Yeah, I'm just showing as you're layering things, figuring out.
Yeah.
And if you need to kind of glue some pieces together. So I just glued my little lacy piece onto that ribbon.
Right, exactly.
And this is the ribbon that I'm using. And this one wasn't available, but I do have a similar one that is linked. So that's what I have linked there.
Oh, cute. Oh, I love that stripe. Yeah, that's fun. That is fun. And I would say keeping it simple is another really great tip for this. You don't want to add so much that it starts to get busy. So kind of think about that as well.
And that happens pretty quick because there's a lot of pattern going on on these. So kind of less is more when you're thinking about the embellishments and things.
Yeah. All right. So my fabric was kind of buckled, so I'm just redoing it. And I could trim all this if I wanted to. I'm honestly just going to fold everything over, tuck it in. We're not going to see these insides really, so. Oh, good. That looks better. That looks cute. So love it. Oh my gosh, I love that. I love the bandana and the check and the stripe. I just love that whole look. That is so cool. That is so cool. Mine's super simple. I just took one large piece of fabric, put that gingham ribbon, added the little flower ribbon and a little rick-rack there. And you could have it be in the bottom corner if you didn't want it in the top, you know? So that's the fun part of these. Even though the frame is this way, with the kickstand, you could actually have this face whichever way you want when it's all said and done. All right, so I got that one done. On to the next one. And I'm going to be using a lot of the gingham fabric for this one. For me. This is such a fun idea. It's really super simple. If you're new to crafting, this is something super easy to do. You really can't get it wrong.
Yeah.
And as I said, like I didn't even glue anything down. So if I want to take this apart and start all over again or change up the fabrics or do something different at this point, I could totally do that. So yeah, it's really, really a fun, easy craft. This one, again, just thinking backwards, think upside down. Your largest piece will probably be on the top.
So
with all of the other ones.
This next one, again, this ribbon, obviously,
that's so cool.
Unfortunately, it's not available right now. So I do have one that's very similar that's linked. But what I love about this particular ribbon, and they do have a black and white version of this one that is available, just not the red and white anymore. So you can see it's fuzzy on one side, which is like perfect and cozy if you are wanting to use it for, Christmas time or, like the holidays, that sort of thing. But then this back side is almost like those, like flour sack type of material. So it's a really, really nice texture. And I just love, you can pull it apart and fray it. Like there's so many different ways that you can use this ribbon. Yeah. I just love it. So like I said, I've linked a very similar one and the black and white one is available, just not the red and white anymore. So.
Really cool. We've used that in a number of different craft projects and it's really fun. It's a really fun one to use. We've even used it for like Valentine's Day, you can. Sometimes those big chunky ribbons are just so fun to use because you don't get to use them very often. So, all right.
I'm just trimming down my ribbon. This one is a lot more simple than my last one.
All right. Let me see how that. Oh, I'm going to play around with it again.
And then on here, you can see I have this little piece of twine that's kind of curled up. Yeah. And that'll be the other. So the bandana will go over the top of that, but that'll be the other kind of embellishment on this particular panel.
I love that. I love that. All right.
So, and with using the bandana, so the difference between, again, like I said, it's fun to see the differences, the sort of variations in the craft projects that you and I do. So mine, because it's got that bandana, it does feel a little more Western.
Yeah.
And then with yours, with the flower backgrounds, like it has a little bit more of that classic look. So really, like this will work. However, whatever style that you're trying to portray, you can do that. And you have all these different little picture frames to kind of make your creations, which is so fun.
Yep. All right. Now, see, I put mine together and took a look at it and I'm taking it apart and starting over. So again, this is like almost a no-fail craft.
Yep.
Like if you need confidence in your crafting abilities or you just want to do something fun, you don't have to really think about it. You're not going to mess anything up, right? You're not going to make any mistakes. This is a perfect craft for that. I think this would be so fun to do for like a girls night crafting.
Yep.
Grab a bottle of wine, have some fun, get the girls together or make some hot cocoa or tea or whatever your favorite drink is, and have a pile of different fabrics and trims and all kinds of fun bandanas and things that they could pick from. And then everybody could have their own, even if they just make the picture frame, right? They don't make the centerpiece.
Exactly.
That would be a really fun craft for everybody to do. All right, because I'm super picky. Come on. So I'm going to pull it apart one last time. Just give it a tug. Okay, what do you look like? All right.
And honestly, the layering it, that's the trickiest part. So it's when you flip it over and look at it and you're like, oh no, I wanted that one under this one. And like, that's the trickiest part. But everything else, it could not be easier.
Yeah, no, it's super, super easy to go back and forth. All right. Basically, the idea is you want to have 4 frames that all kind of coordinate together, the same kind of color schemes. We're doing red, white, and blue, but you want to use some of the, you can use a couple different blues, but make sure that couple different blues are in a couple different, a couple different frames. You want to repeat things and stuff. So,
yep. And I think it's easy if you're like, you're kind of sticking to 2 or 3 different fabrics. Like, again, right. I think that'll just make it easy for everything to kind of coordinate together nicely.
Right. Exactly. So I'm going to show everybody so these were the 2 that I did today, just now. Cute. And then, so in my, and then here's my floral fabric again.
Oh, I love that one.
That's so pretty. And then inside my centerpiece, I wanted to add these flags, right? So I thought this would be a super fun addition to the top of my centerpiece. So I'm going to tuck a couple of these in, but
those are really nice quality.
They're super cute. I love them. You get 6 in the bundle. The print on these is really nice. They're made of like a nylon or kind of water resistant fabric. I think these would be super cute to, hand out to the kids to wave at parade or line your driveway. Or as I said, I'm going to be using this in the center of my, inside my centerpiece here. But because I'm going to be using these, I took one of the flags off its flagpole, and here's my
one. Nice.
So I'm kind of just repeating that theme, right?
Yep.
So really wanted to, and I have the girly ones here with the floral, and I wanted something a little more masculine, right? So just so that would be relatable to everybody. This isn't just the wife's decoration or the mom's decoration, right? This is something good for everybody. So again, I wanted something that was kind of a plaid, a little masculine, but also, anyway, you can mix and match these up so much, have so much fun making your designs. Again, I think the simpler, the better. You can always add more.
Yep.
Hillary, I love your threads or twine or rope in there. They look like little lassos. I think that is the coolest idea.
Because of the bandanas.
Yes.
Like a little lasso sort of details work really well. So this is just baker's twine in this one. And then this one has
fun.
A kind of thicker twine that's
What
used.
A great idea. So. That is so clever. This is so cool. But you can see the red ribbon that you have is in both of those, right? So we're kind of repeating some motifs, repeating some colors, that kind of stuff, just so that everything kind of coordinates. I love this. Super cute. Okay. So this could be done. You could hang these on the wall and have it as a really cute patriotic decoration. You could line them up all in a row or make a big square out of the 4 squares as you're decorating for your house for the holiday, for Memorial Day or 4th of July. But we're going to turn this into a table centerpiece. So we're going to be gluing these frames together in kind of a box shape. Let me doing this here. Just kind of like that. So You could do 2 of the frames on the outside and 2 of the frames on the inside if you want, or you could alternate so that you get a true square in yours. Let's see if it matters. I think I might swap these guys. I don't know that that matters.
And this,
there we go.
When I was playing with it, like I did grab a little bit of like electrical tape or painter's tape, something that's not going to hurt the finish on the frame.
Yeah, so. Yeah. That's a smart idea. All right. And are you using wood glue and hot glue for yours? I have hot glue both, with me,
but I'm thinking I might just stick with the hot glue.
That's what I was going to do.
And tape it in and see how well it holds up with that.
Yeah. And you can always go back with more glue later.
Yep.
But isn't this a cute idea for a table centerpiece? We're kind of making our own vase here.
Exactly.
Which is really fun.
You could also do like, if you had little lantern or something like that, like this is a nice big candle. Space that could go in the middle. So you could set your lantern on a little something to kind of raise it up a little bit. And then you'd have like a lantern as well as that this idea. In the bottom here.
Yeah. So. Or you could put a hurricane kind of glass shape in there and fill it with a candle or fill it with flowers, all kinds of stuff. I'm going to be using my handy dandy glue gun. Love this thing. It's so amazing. It's Sure Bonder. It's a high temperature glue gun, but I love this little stand and it's cordless. So you just stick it in the stand to charge it up. And I love that it has this little tray because glue gets everywhere, you know, and this definitely protects your surface. And Hillary told me, because she's got the little mini version, show the little trick you can do to make it corded, because I didn't even know you could do that. I think that's so cool.
So so you can see the cord goes into the base right here, and then this part is where the actual glue gun will continue to charge. Mm-hmm. But if you have a project where you're needing to use your glue gun for a long time, so it's going to be off the charger for a long time, you can just unplug the thing from the base and plug it directly into
I wouldn't have even thought to do that. That's amazing.
So you have the best of both worlds. Yes. You have not only a corded, but also a cordless glue gun, which is awesome. So as Patty said, she's got the full size Sure Bonder there, which happens to be, I'm just looking at this right now. That one happens to be 46%
off
right
my gosh.
so this is the
that's
time
like almost half off?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
That is incredible. Mine is the mini version.
That is so nice.
And it is 25% off. So
that's cool. And I like yours because it has the detail tip on it too, which is so nice.
Yeah.
And I tend to burn myself when I'm gluing. So that one would be like one that's not going to hurt me, right? Because it's not quite as hot. But all right.
And I do also have the so I have the mini glue sticks.
Yes, and I have the regular
as well.
size.
So
okay. Yeah.
So nice. These are great because they work both for high and low temperature glue guns, the mini ones. So those are awesome. And you do go through, like, the mini glue gun is fantastic because you have all that detail power, but you do go through glue sticks fairly quick. Those little mini glue sticks fairly quickly. So
yeah. All right. So I'm just securing. I put quite a bit of glue on here, and I'm just securing 2 of my sides. Aren't these so cute? This is coming together. I love this. I love it. It's so fun. And I love the frames. Like, I love the rusticness of the frames. So I'm going to turn this. I'm going to add another one here. And I am, I'm going to do it this way. Super cool. I've never done anything like this before. This is fun.
The glue really does grab on. Like, you could, obviously, if you wanted to, you could use something like E6000 or wood glue. I have this kind of glue, all Elmer's glue. that would, make it a little extra secure, but it
Yeah.
really feels like that hot glue grabs on
It
nicely.
really
So,
does. Yeah, it really does. And these frames are not real heavy to begin
yep.
with, so that makes this an easy project to work with. But see how we're building this base here? This is so cool. I love this. I'm sorry. I get geeked out by by crafting. This is so fun.
I'm
All
just
right.
trying to figure out where. Okay, there we go. I'm like, wait, you're not quite a box. So,
Yeah, and I'm overlapping, so
yeah, that's what I'm doing as well. But
to
if
try
you
and make a
have one off,
square.
then
Yes, right,
it's gonna
right.
be real off.
It is going to be off, right? But if you don't want to think about it and you want to make it easy, you could do 2 on the inside and 2 on the outside, and it's fine. It'd just be a little bit of a kind of a rectangular shape instead of a
Yep.
square, but and that would be perfectly fine too. All right, I'm just giving it a good amount of glue here. This is so cool.
And it's nice and substantial. Like this is, a nice size.
Yeah. Yeah. Hi, everybody. Thanks for joining us. Say hi. Let us know where you're watching from. We're putting together a Memorial Day centerpiece. And if you wanted to, we're putting in some really fun fabrics and just these square picture frames. But if you wanted to, you could always, which I think is a really fun idea, you could take a shirt from somebody who you no longer have in your home, but is still in your heart, and use that as some of the fabrics. You could put a pocket in here, or you could put a little.
I love that idea.
And then have something like tucked into the pocket. Would that be so
little
cute?
poppies inside a little shirt pocket would be like. My grandfather always had a poppy on his cowboy hat, like something like that, where you could add those special touches.
Yes. Yeah. I think that would be awesome. I think it would really make this a very special Memorial Day centerpiece. But you could also make this for 4th of July.
We're getting down to the last one, so I'm just.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing right now. Is the last one. But I did one side and then the other. I didn't.
Okay, that's what I was gonna ask.
Because it's
try to do them at the same time.
No, because I didn't want the glue to get too cold as I was focused on one side and then have it adhere weird on the other side, right? So, and it works fine. There's enough give to it that you could totally do one side and then the next.
Okay, perfect.
Go Hillary. Go Hillary.
Yes, I trust
you. You could
but
do
I
it.
had to get a little confidence boost there before
I know, I hear
went
you.
for it.
I hear you. I hear you. So isn't this fun? Look at this. This is so cute, everybody. Oh my gosh. Love, love, love this. I think it's dry enough for me to pick it up, but the plaids, the florals, the gingham, the American flag with the plaid again, and the other floral. And it's fun to get the rickrack and some gingham ribbons and some little flower trims and things like that. So
yeah, these are my girly details are the lace and the flower.
I love that. Yeah, that is so pretty. Well, the bandanas are girly too.
Not to me. They really like they're so unisex to me.
Yeah. Well, that's what I mean. They're both they're for everybody. So anyway, a lot of fun. So cool. All right. So again, we talked a few minutes ago about all the fun things you can put in here. We are going to fill this up now. If you have a vase and you want to set this inside, go for it.
Absolutely.
I'm just tossing my flowers in. I don't have a
So
vase.
I do have a little bit of styrofoam that I've popped in the bottom of mine, but not it doesn't even remotely come to fill the entire space. And
I'll see if I need it.
But I would love the idea of if you have a nice wide vase of fresh flowers too. So you could
that would be beautiful.
Put those in, and change them throughout the season.
Would be so pretty. So I'm gonna talk about my flowers, my pretty red, white, and blue flowers. So I love these. These are kind of a baby's breath that's in red. Look at all the pics that you get with this 2, 3, 4. There's 5 picks, and even just one pick has a ton of flowers. Like, I just love that. And the stems look like bark. Like, they look like they look realistic. They're not, they're not just like the fake, the fake green lines or whatever, the green stems that you see all the time. I think these are so, so pretty. And so I'm going to be adding this to my bouquet.
And those ones happen to be 25% off. So they
wow.
are fantastic deal
That's
right
awesome.
now too.
That's awesome. I might end up grabbing some styrofoam. We'll see what this ends up looking like. I'm just winging it here. Going by the seat of our pants.
Yours are big. I think your flowers are bigger than mine. So I do think it'll fill out.
Yeah.
Mine were needing a little extra filler in there. So
yeah. No. Well, we'll see. We'll see what mine look like when it's all done. And then I've got the white ones here. These are the cherry blossoms. These are so pretty. You get, actually, I only have 2 of these left because we used these in a previous craft project. So if you're watching, check out our past live here, wherever you're watching. And I ended up using these cherry blossoms. They're so pretty. Again, you get so many flowers and they're so realistic. I really love, I feel like Amazon is providing so many beautiful flowers now. Like, they don't look fake. There's so many, like on all my socials, I'm seeing people get so many artificial flowers this year for spring or for their porch and stuff for outside. Yeah. Like, I see that everywhere. So by all means, like, check these out. I love these. These are going to be so pretty.
And those are on sale as well. So those are another great deal.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And I might just play with these to fill them out. And then go for it. You go for it.
So I've only got one left in this little box here. I'm using some chrysanthemums. So it's a pack of 12 red, white, and blue chrysanthemums.
How cool.
And the reason why I left this one out, so they come in like this fantastic packaging. So they come with their little bulbs all apart, and then there is a tiny bit of assembly required, so you have the stem here separate so that they can be packed like that so securely. So
right, so they don't get crushed in shipping.
Exactly.
That's cool.
Pop this really on here, and then you have this really fun.
Oh, how
and
sweet!
There's so 12 of them that are kind of popped in here.
Oh, those are gorgeous.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. What a bouquet. That's beautiful.
So I do have a little bit of filler white flowers in there as well, but the chrysanthemums are the star of the show for this one.
Yes, for sure. All right. Well, my star of the show is going to be these hydrangeas. Like, these are so pretty. And you get 5 in the bunch. Like, this is such a huge, I have to hold them back so you can see them all. The flowers are so big and they feel like super soft. They don't feel like the typical fabric or that's used with a faux flower. These feel like a velvety kind of almost like felt. They have a really soft texture to them, but look how big and voluminous these are. I just love these. They're so pretty. Awesome. This particular color, I just got this not too long ago, like a week and a half ago. This color is sold out. So if you like these, by all means, check out. They do have other blues available. But by all means, grab them now, because whatever we're showing you next week or tomorrow or whatever might not be available. So if you see something and you like it, I wouldn't hesitate. I've done that in the past and then missed out. And I'm like, darn it, I should have put it in my cart when I felt like that was the thing to do. And then I miss out on it. So I'm going to.
And there are a bunch of other really pretty colors in that hydrangea. And the quality is so nice on those ones.
Yes.
So
it really
I definitely, if you're looking around and trying to find some, the quality is fantastic. And obviously they're popular because they are selling out of different colors. So grab them, grab the color you want while you can.
Right. For sure. So my stem's a little long, so I'm just trimming these down so I can plop these in. So But anyway, yes. What a fun idea.
Oh, I love those.
What a fun idea. And I can zhuzh this and play with this some more. But yeah, I love this. This is such a fun project. I love the fact that, go ahead.
Sorry.
No. I'm excited. When I get excited, I interrupt. So don't worry about it. By all means, interrupt me. It doesn't bother me at all.
So I do have, as you can see here, another, if you're looking for a kind of you know, just a bouquet that's already ready to go, that's red, white, and blue. This one is really fun one that's already red, white, and blue, kind of baby's breath. So that
uses the same red flowers that I have. Yep. So those are the same red ones.
So a really, really nice quality on those.
Yeah,
so,
exactly. Yeah. That's the same as these, just also in white and blue. So yeah, a lot of fun. What a great project. I hope you guys got inspired by some of the fun things that we did today. Taking these picture frames, adding some fun embellishments to them. Oh yeah, this one reminded me. I want to add my little flags. Yes, add my little flag. So I probably should get something to put these in. Oh, there we go. They're gonna stay upright for me. These are so cute. All right, here we go.
I love how these turn out. They are so fun, and will work, you know, all kind of summer season long. Yes. But obviously for Memorial Day, this is just a beautiful, you could change out the flowers, you could change out, you know, the things that you put in the middle. I think these are really, really fun. And as we said, you could just use them as individual picture frames and having them, you know, that gives you that nice summer vibes too. So exactly. I love this. Cute. And I love that it's different from every side, from every angle, right? So if you're putting this in the middle of a table, everybody gets a different, different view. So that's really fun too. Really great project. So fun. So glad we were able to share it with you. Hope you guys and gals enjoyed this so much. By all means, tell us what your favorite part of this project is. Tell us if you're going to go ahead and grab some of these supplies and make it yourself. That would be so fun to hear. We love bringing these crafts to you guys and gals out there. And so, if you're interested, please let us know. That would totally make our day. Yes. And thank you so much for joining us. And we will be back next week with another fun collection of items. So please join us then as well. So thank you, everyone. Thanks, everybody. Have a great evening. Take care. Thanks for being with us tonight.